What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Squash. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Momo. The map is Painted Desert, and this is going to be an exciting one. We recently looked at some Squash versus Chemo games where Squash was playing Ra and Chemo was playing Hades, but now we get to see what a real Hades player does against Squash and see if Squash is going to be doing anything different in this game. Just simply on the fact that that Squash is not playing against Chemo, and maybe I'm genuinely interested in how much metagaming Squash does, because does he just try and play solidly every game, or does he play into certain players' weaknesses or like strengths or whatever? He tries to exploit a certain player's play style when he plays. We'll have to wait and see, because right now it's looking like a very, very classic Ra opening here. And this opening, I think you can get 430 with this opening playing as Ra, because your monument costs a little bit less than every other Egyptian civilization. So we'll see if he's going to be able to go for a 430 and be able to chop a second town center down and have a good game. He's currently scouting around with his pharaoh, searching for stuff to find here. He's got himself 4 zebra in his main base, which I think it's not quite enough to advance to the second age, but it should be a decent one. The problem here is for Squash is that if he wants to go for a second town center and go for this, if he wants to go for a second town center, he basically has to go for this one. And there's no hunt close to it with all the hunt on the other side of the map. But the good thing is that there's a nice close gold mine over here for Squash to go for here. So we'll see exactly what he's going to go for. He's got 7 villages on food, grabbing everyone onto the gold here. If we move over to Momo's perspective and look at what's on his, you can actually see both of his town centers are on the same side, and all of his hunt is over the other side. So he's got a little bit of a rough map as well in that regard if he wants to go for the fast second town center here. I'm interested to see what sort of differences we're going to see here from Momo compared to Chemo in this map and this matchup, as we do see a really forward. This is quite a forward temple here, and I actually don't mind this. One thing that might not be a bad idea for Hades players to do in general is to actually drop their temple in a forward location so that their Minotaur can be in the fight. Their free Minotaur or Cyclops can be in the fight that much faster. But we are seeing it's still relatively close to his home base. Doesn't really matter, but we'll see how things are going to go. Squash dropping his temple down now with 1 villager. He's got a whole bunch of villagers on wood right now. As his priest is going to move over here and start empowering the wood to give himself all of the resources he needs to get himself Shadoof, husbandry, pickaxe, and plow. He gets exactly the wood that he needs, and then he takes everyone off of wood and goes over onto the gold, as we do see him actually looking like he's going for a 445 here, as he does indeed have the food that he needs to advance just off of those initial zebra there. So incredibly clean opening here from Squash. Maybe he's going for 1 extra villager here. He indeed is going for that extra villager, moving over onto this location. Now we'll see, does Momo have his Ajax out? Yes, he does. He's going to be looking to start harassing this immediately here. The Katoskopos scouting around here. Where is he going with this bad boy, though? He might be looking to grab this relic up on this location. He's sending it straight through here. Going to be basically letting Squash know that the Ajax is coming as he's starting to walk in to this game here. Or this location here. There are a lot of villagers over here, though. So the Ajax probably only going to be able to poke and run. But an interesting decision here from Squash. And we'll see what Momo is going to be able to do. He's going to grab the arrows of the Alpha. The villagers happily going to be grabbing that gold, that food over there for a little bit longer. As we do see on this wood line over here, pickaxe has been grabbed. Do we see husbandry? Husbandry has been grabbed as the villagers over here going to be moving closer to the rest of the villagers, so he can come over and start shanking as best as he can. We see the Katoskopos getting into the action, being incredibly annoying here. This is something that I very much hate here, but the fact that he's doing it in the classical age makes me hate it just that little bit less. Just that little bit less. But it is a good amount of damage going to be coming in onto that Pharaoh. Now that the classical age comes through, the Katoskopos will be getting taken down. We do see a ton of villagers making their way over onto this town center as the Minotaur looks like it's already in here. The Pharaoh going to be getting some damage done onto this location as Squash is in a very, very dangerous position here as the Ajax going straight after the Pharaoh here. Not quite going to be able to take it down though, because Squash is just simply going to be retreating it away. But we will be seeing the Chiron now coming through, and Squash might need to simply just shifting sands the Pharaoh away here, as we do see the Wadget going to start getting taken down. The Pharaoh moving over onto the town center as the Chiron does go over there, picks up the relic, moves around. We move over into Squash's main base. He's going to be having a very, very difficult time here getting himself the food he needs to spam villagers out. Is now he's got no food left. So we see a Hades Shade coming in. That was from the dead. That must have been from the dead Katoskopos here, as the Chiron going to come through, snipe down that Pharaoh here as he's running around, getting a little bit lucky there, but does end up going down, as now the Wadget going to get sniped down as well. So much damage done to Squash in the early game here from this early game of Momo. He played that incredibly well. He does have a beautiful lone gazelle on this town center to help Squash out with his game here. Squash not throwing an armory down and a lot of pressure after all of that, and that's just the nature of the early game of Hades against Egyptian, and exactly what you need to be doing when the Egyptian player goes for those sorts of town centers. Momo knows you go after the hunt straight away, because those are the villages which Ra is going to use to drop the town center down. It's something to have in the back of your mind all the time here in this matchup. As we see the town center is now up for Momo. He's moving forward now, going to start grabbing the middle hunt here. He's got tons of resources in the bank. The question is he going to go for 3 town centers here, or is he going to stick 2 town centers? We do see 10 farms on this location over here. We've got 4 farms over here, so a total of 14 farms going, 15 farms, plenty of resources to come through. Squash is going to have a ton of economy going for himself in the classical age, as we'll see how things are going to be coming along here as Momo here. Town centers coming up. We do see the villagers gonna get... Oh, we got the resources now for a 3rd town center, but the question is, do you go for it or not? As we see an armory actually coming down for Momo. Is he going 2 town center fast heroic here or something crazy? I'm not sure, to be honest. Tons of wood, so it can't really be a fast heroic, because otherwise he's going for the town center. No real surprises here. I think he could have done that just that slightly bit more efficiently. I do believe you can, if this is your plan, I believe you can get yourself a 6-minute, by at the very latest 6:30, 3 town centers up, and have Ajax, Chiron out, and be putting all that pressure on. I think it is possible. Gonna have to do a little bit of... I think I've actually got a video on it, but maybe it's not quite right. But I feel like if that's the build, you should go for it, and you should be trying to get those 3 town centers up as fast as you possibly can. Because Squash right now, he's had the 2 town centers for a little bit longer than Momo, and he's got all of that economy that's come through. He's also got this really safe back gold mine over here. So we'll see what Squash is going to do moving forward, and if Momo's got any ideas here. He doesn't actually have any buildings set up. He's walling off the entirety of the map here. The Chiron's searching around, looking for somewhere to attack. He could probably hit some damage in onto that gold mine here, if he so chose, but it looks like he's going to be swinging around here, looking at these gazelle and checking the gold mine out, just making sure Squash isn't mining gold. And this is so smart. This is not something that Chemo didn't do in his games versus Squash at all. We see the Chiron coming in, going to be doing a little bit of hit and run micro here. The problem with this is that the Chiron is now out of position to deal with the rock, and Squash is going to know this, as he's probably immediately sending the wait, hello? Why are you sending the rock over here? Don't send the rock towards the Chiron. What are you doing? What are you doing? He drops the rock down. We see the Chiron going to start getting targeted here. What are you... Momo's going to bring his guy back here. Let's see what's happening now in the main base of Momo. He's dropping down his military buildings in his main base over here. Walls are completely set up. He goes off onto the side of the map as well to make sure that those are walled up. More walls coming down here for Momo. He checks out this Migdol stronghold with the Chiron going to be retreating back here as we see the cavalry starting to come out for Squash. He's got so many resources in the bank to spam here. So we'll see how he's going to go. 21 villages on food at the moment. 5 villages on wood. He's getting himself shaft mine or irrigation right now. Does he have shaft mine as well already? I'm sure he does, yes. All the economic upgrades he needs. You can also go for that 3rd town center as well to boot after this is all done. But at this point, Squash is going to be looking for the raids. But there's just nothing to raid here at this moment. We see the rock moving in over here. Squash doesn't even have his what do you call Petsukos in this rock to be helping with this raid, but he's still scouting out. Momo just about finished with all the walls here as the armory is set up. The Petsukos coming in to start putting some pressure on here, but Momo looks like he's just throwing farms, playing nice, slow, throwing more buildings down all over the place. He hasn't even really built a single military unit just yet. We do see that the villager does go down. This wall being broken down will mean that the army is going to be able to start hitting some raids in the main base over here. But, I mean, Momo could probably wall this off over here as well and maybe even make it difficult to move over into this side of the map. Do we see Crenellations here? Yes, Crenellations is also coming through here to start getting some big damage done onto the cavalry here as Momo here. What is he doing? Is he building any units? No, he's got no units here. He doesn't care. He's going to be bringing off of this gold mine over here. He can start raiding the villages underneath this town center for the time being. Locust Swarm coming down onto these villages on these farms. Going to be garrisoning into the town center here, doing a lot of economic damage there to the wood income of Momo. But Momo is still happily grabbing food over here. This wall getting broken down on this location here. The villagers here sitting inside the town center, not really going to be doing all too much as Momo now 80 of 85 population. He's got 35 villagers on the food right now. Crenellations Towers here going to do so much damage to those cavalry. I love that play from Momo. Trading 1 villager for a cavalry at this point is actually a decent trade because you're on 3 town centers. You can build them back up really, really quickly here as the Chiron going to be attempting to snipe down that Petsukos over here, but Squash sees that immediately. Going to be coming through here to try and take out everything else. With those villagers here, the cavalry have to retreat back as they've been fighting underneath the Crenellations Towers here. Meanwhile, the temple on this location going to be getting taken out. Nice play here. The wall getting broken down. The villagers still sitting here in Aphrodite. Now clicked up for Momo. He needs to drop down a ton of houses here and get some units out. He's in a bit of a difficult position. Now Squash is getting his 3rd town center out and he's going to be getting his market down. He's starting to trade out. He's going into full boom mode here. 30 villagers on food with irrigation, with quarry. Now, quarry, I don't rate as a technology anymore. I don't think you should really be getting that over something else. I don't think it's an important technology for Egyptian players to get. I would rather see like fortified town centers, for example, first than quarry. Quarry has 500 resources, boosts your gold gather rate by a minuscule amount. I believe it was something. I can't exactly remember the exact number, but I believe you get 5 goldish a minute more than shaft mine, which means if you've got 20 villagers on gold, you're getting 100 gold more a minute, which means in 5 minutes you pay off quarry. That's a lot of time to pay off an upgrade. And then after that, obviously, it's all benefits. But I would much rather just, if you're going to start a trade route, just go full trade route and then stop having villagers on gold full stop. If that makes any sense. And in favor of other upgrades. And that's enough of that, because now Momo here, he's in the heroic age. He has managed to defend himself. He needs to rebuild his all his walls back up, get his temples back up and sort himself out. Maybe get his relics back as well. This villager over here with a cheeky wall wall back over here, and he's going to be looking to play for the late game here. Momo loves his chances in the late game. We see Osiris coming through, and Squash is not slowing down in this game whatsoever. He's throwing the Migdol up on the front. He's going to start setting up to try and take this town center down here. There is a beautiful cliff to be abused here by Catapult, and Squash is realizing that here. You have to imagine, because he gets his Migdol down, he's going to be able to throw a whole bunch over here. He's going to have a fantastic time where that's concerned. His village is going to start getting taken down on this position. We do see the villagers having to retreat back here as the Nemean Lion here going to be sitting underneath this. We might see Squash having to build some mercenary cavalry here, but the cavalry of Squash going to come through onto this location as Momo going to be retreating back ever so slightly. Probably can't actually win that fight with the Nemean Line there, as this wall here going to get broken down. As Squash just about to hit that Mythic Age Hero Siege, work's going to come down. I would love to see, like, if you take a look at what Momo can actually see with this Sentinel, I would love to see, like, a Migdol placed right up here before he starts moving forward onto this position over here as the army coming through. Squash retreating away. Do we see upgrades? Yes, we do see heavy chariots, but no heavy cavalry coming through just yet. The big problem with going for this crazy big economy, which Squash is going for right now, is that he can't abuse mercenary in this game. It's cross town center spawn, so the third town center is too far away from the opponent's third town center to spam mercenary onto that, and basically you're just going to be having an economy that is just too big for you to really do too much. So really what he has to do is spam towers with all that extra gold that he's got. As you can see, immediately coinage coming through, immediately flood control coming through. Nice play here from Squash. Exactly what he needs to do. We do see the curse coming down, hitting a lot of those villages over there, and we also still have shifting sands remaining for Squash in this game, as restoration getting dropped down onto this position as Momo wants to be removing it from the game. Meanwhile, Momo is going up through Hephaestus. He's got his market set up in the corner, going to start the trade route coming through here. As the Toxotes trying to snipe down that Son of Osiris here. Nice play here from Momo to be focusing that one down, keeping it out of this fight. Heavy cavalry coming through as the Son of Osiris returns here, as the Toxotes is going to be continuing to be chasing that Son of Osiris down as it's going to be retreating back home. Meanwhile, Hoplite's going to be taking out these chariot archers over here nicely as Squash moves back in. We are seeing those catapults coming through for Squash, but he needs to get some more units out here as chariots are going to start getting produced from this location over here. And maybe Squash just needs to say, look, I can't actually hold this position just yet and go for something else. We do see the gates coming up on that position. He's got 3 monuments all ready to start the production of mummies here in this game. Effectively 5 monuments, about 5 monuments equals 7 villages on favor. So if you want to be matching Colossus spam here with mummies, you kind of need all 5 monuments up. As the Toxotes still getting pulled by that Son of Osiris. Some beautiful play here from Squash. He's paying attention to it really, really nicely. Meanwhile, look at that, 41 villagers on the food right now for Squash. As he is still pumping those camel caravans. As Squash's economy is absolutely gigantic. Part of the game plan here for Ra is he needs to actually get an advantage economically, so he doesn't fall behind on the economy compared to what Hephaestus is going to have. Because Momo goes to Hephaestus here. Momo's going to have Forge of Olympus, which is a 75% reduction in cost for his armor upgrades. So to balance that out, Squash needs to get an advantage to get his own armor upgrades through, as the Son of Osiris still getting chased down. 4 catapults in this siege works. That's 16 population here that Squash could definitely be using here, as this Hippocon comes through, going to get a couple of whacks away at the Son of Osiris before losing his life. Meanwhile, the Migdol stronghold does go down. If we take a look at Momo's economy here, he's got full villages. His farms are a little bit messed up on this home base, but no problems really. Secrets of the Titans coming through for Squash though, after all of this is said and done, and that's going to really halt Momo's push here, because Momo is going to 100% need to get himself a Titan out here. He's not really going to have the economy here, as those 4 catapults all drop out of that siege works, and that's a lot of lost economy here for Squash, but he's not going to care all too much. Is he getting armory upgrades? Not really. Momo, on the other hand, is he getting his own armory upgrades? I don't see that exactly happening just yet. He's got himself just the one, and he does have himself the upgrades. Is he throwing armories down? Yes, he is. So those are going to come down. He's going to get all his armor upgrades as fast as he can, but the thing is, do you bother at this point with the armor upgrades, or do you go for the Titan Age? And it looks like Momo is opting here to go for a fight against the Titan instead of building his own Titan. I think this might actually be the right call, because Squash still has got Shifting Sands. And Shifting Sands is unless you're completely walled up and you prevent the line of sight, Shifting Sands could potentially lead to a Chrono JJ amount of catapults being Shifting Sands onto your Titan Gate and you losing that one. So if you are unaware of that, Chrono JJ is known for his Titan Gate killing shenanigans. So I think there's a game somewhere from a tournament at some point where Chrono JJ killed a Titan Gate with a Shifting Sands. As we do see, the Titan is ready here. We'll see if Squash is going to be dropping that one down or just holding on to it for the time being. Siege works coming through here, and there's the Titan Gate getting dropped down as the villagers all get pulled off of those farms there. He's got plenty of resources in the bank here, and he's got all the trade in the world here to spam Mercenary out. The problem is his armory here is just a little bit too slow. He needs to get those armory upgrades out, and we'll see how things are going to go. We do have the Mummy over here on this location. He needs to be microing that one there. Not going to be doing it just yet. Pulling back away from that Chiron here to keep himself alive as the siege works. He's going to be getting taken down. Mercenary coming out of this position. I actually think what you can do here as Squash is spam Mercenary Cavalry from this town center and Mercenary from this town center, Mercenary Infantry from this town center to be able to hold here. But Momo's going to be using this opportunity now to start setting up on this location, I'm sure, or pushing further and further forward here, locking off this location with walls, finishing the walls up over here. We do see villagers coming down. Towers going to be getting dropped here to deal with those Mercenary Cavalry that are getting built here. As Squash, what is he doing? He's making some Spearmen out at this point. He's got medium Spearmen here. Has he stopped trade? Yes, he does, but he's probably got like 40 camel caravans at this point going. Not empowering his trade route is potentially a bit of a misplay here. At the very least, put a priest over onto it. When you have 30 trade caravans, it helps out so absurdly much here. As the Mummy still, utilizing its special ability here on units not named a Colossus, and it will actually get sniped down there. Nice play by Momo as he's getting super value out of his Colossus, but the problem is really going to be Heliopoli at this point. As Squash here, he is sitting at 160 of 160 population, but what's the Rock doing? Looks like the Rock is just hanging out on this location here, but he just doesn't really have that much army out. He's trying to spam out these Mercenary Cavalry to deal with this, but is it going to work? Guard towers coming down now for Squash to hold on to this location. We've got the Titan Gate at 63%. Momo, on the other hand here, he's completely ignoring any sort of ability, any sort of attempt to go for a Titan here. More towers getting thrown up by Momo. He is sitting only at watch towers, but he does have himself arrows of the Alpha and iron weapons. So these are some very, very strong Greek units here. As Momo trying to push forward, we still got that Son of Osiris alive doing just a ridiculous amount of damage here, and Squash is just continuously microing this just incredibly well here, and he's doing it exactly right. This is how you should use your Son of Osiris. You keep him in the back and you just focus the melee units. Make sure you're sitting away from the enemy Toxotes and you're going to be completely fine here. As Momo, more towers coming down here. He's still spamming buildings all over the map as the Titan is just about to pop here for Squash. But the problem here with getting a Titan out when you have this much economy going, look at how little the resources Squash has though at the moment. The problem here for Squash is once that Titan is out, that's literally all of these champion chariots, one less of these. He's going to have one chariot here instead of 8. Once he loses his population here from Momo pushing through. And what Momo can do to counter the Titan now is you realize that it's just a Titan. It's not an army. There's no army to help support this here. So he can effectively just utilize a Heliopoli or a couple of Heliopoli and plus the Greek heroes to deal with it. So what Momo could actually do here is stop producing Toxotes. He's got a couple of heal forts, just produce nothing but Heliopoli here to deal with this Titan. Not only that, he can continue to pressure this town center and maybe get himself out some, instead of Toxotes here, get him out some Gastrophetes here. Gastrophetes is also a really good option to take out opponents' Son of Osiris, because they have the 20 range instead of the 15 range. Is it 20 range? Maybe 30 range? Wait, what is it? I always forget these types of details. They got 24 range, so they can take the Son of Osiris down from a very, very long ways away. It's now the Titan here for Squash, sitting idly by, as he's going to be looking for something to do. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Squash thinking about going for a Wonder here. This is exactly the way that Squash looks like he's playing here at this point. Behind all of this, he's getting his favor up. Is he building a Mummy? He does have a Mummy here, so he could cancel that Mummy and drop a Wonder at kind of any time here. Question is, will it work or not, as these Heliopoli getting taken down? We do see the Titan starting to move forward here. What you have to do against the Titan at this point is going to be is building block. So you've got to send villagers in, building block the Titan, prevent him from getting into your base as best as you can to get as much damage done as you possibly can here. I don't understand why Momo is building Toxotes here. I'm not sure what he's trying to kill here. I think Gastrophetes at this point would be a very, very simple way to break down all these Ballista from range, because right now he's losing a lot of resources to basically to towers, and he could just be having Gastrophetes here. Alternatively, if he gets some catapult out on this location, he might be, and walls, he might be able to take the town center down a little bit better. But now the Squash Titan has made his way in onto Momo's town center. Momo not paying enough attention onto this one. Not enough building blocking going on. But the Titan's still going to be taking quite a lot of damage here. Got the Chiron, got the Perseus, got the Ajax, got the Heliopoli, trying to take this one down. Effectively trading about 30 population. Maybe it's only about 20 population here for the Titan, but now the town center goes down and things start looking much, much more challenging here. As Squash here, he's getting himself new kingdom here. He is empowering this market. Look at all the resources in the bank for Squash at this moment. Squash is going to be able to start going for some crazy side builds here. He's starting to clean up the bottom side of the map here with his catapult. Going to be pushing forward here. The town center is down as the Titan's going to be moving now to break down another town center with only 3 or 4. He's got 6 villages here. The town center will be back up in no time. The problem really for Momo, it's not that big of a problem because he's actually got plenty of resources. I was going to say he's probably got no resources now, but he's got plenty here. Moving forward as the tower's getting taken down, and I just think that Momo's attempt at dealing with this is just the wrong approach. He's now getting catapult out, but Champion Toxotes is just not a necessary unit here for against this town center. He's never going to kill his town center without Gastrophetes or like mass catapults here. As this town center now starting to go down, Squash's Titan getting to near half HP as the town center over here going to be coming back up. As soon as this town center goes down, Momo needs to rebuild it. He should be rebuilding villages here as well, trying to stay as healthy as possible. He's got plenty of wood in the bank here to buy resources for, as that town center does end up going down here. Squash now nearly has the resource. Well, what is happening here? It looks like a Wonder is coming here for Squash. No, the villagers shift. Oh, he moves in with the mercenary here, and he comes in onto this town center. He's going to be attempting to empower this one up as fast as he possibly can here. The mercenary coming. This is so smart from Squash because he's got so much gold. He's going to be taking this for himself, and he's going to be able to start murking out of this town center. But will he be able to continue holding on this location while this is all going down? We do see the fortress coming down, the catapult coming through here, and Squash makes the play, dropping a Migdal down on this location. He doesn't quite have the gold here just yet. Where's that Pharaoh in for Squash? He needs a Pharaoh on this market here to get the gold income. Is now the Titan going to be moving forward to take down this town center, and now Momo's in a very, very difficult position to move forward here. As the guard tower is coming through, we do see the ballista towers helping out. The catapults cleaning up all these buildings on the front, and Momo's got no population remaining here. He's got the Heliopoli here to take this out. There's going to be mercenary running through the base. Buildings getting thrown up everywhere. These are incredibly cheap as well because of the Hathor bonus Hathor unique technology sun-dried mud brick. So he's going to be able to pump these up everywhere here. He's got so many villages on this location. Squash very low on the gold here. He's got 164 of 180 population. You could probably afford a couple more camel caravans down. That's exactly what he's going to be going for here. As the town center here, he's got architects, got sun-dried mud brick, and fortified town centers. So it is going to be a difficult thing to break down here in this game, as the village is going to be trying to break through onto this location. Ballista towers coming through. We see mercenary cavalry coming in onto this location here. Siege works getting thrown up everywhere. I'd love to see a temple get thrown down here for Squash as well to make some mummies here. But the Son of Osiris is still alive on this location here. As Momo, he's got no... What can he do here? Maybe he can go for a Titan himself at this point, if he can kill off the enemy Titan. But Momo's in a very, very difficult position here as the Achilles coming in to try and take down this Titan here. His tower's still coming through here. And we... The BM! The absolute BM from Squash. He's like, look at all the resources I got. I resign now. That's what this wonder is meaning. That's the meaning behind this wonder. As Squash has just got a metric shit ton of resources. He's got the town center. He's got the Titan here. 1500 HP remaining. Probably going to be able to break down Momo's hometown center, as well as it's going to get shot up incredibly quick here. This fortress going down. The catapult can move forward now, deny that town center coming back up here if Squash clicks on it, and he does indeed click on it. The question is, will the catapult boulder come in time? And it looks like it doesn't. Squash didn't actually click on it correctly. He must have misclicked there. As now the mercenary cavalry cleaning up everything in the middle of the map. Finally, we're seeing Gastrofidi come out, but it's too little, too late. And in that moment, Momo decides to tap out. GG, well played by Squash. I love it. So good. So good. I don't even know what to say. So good. I don't think that Squash should have been able to get into this position where he had the population and the well, maybe getting into the resources was fine. But Momo not going Gastrofidi here to take this town center down was a catastrophic mistake from Momo. He was fully set up here, but he just kept on pumping those Heliopoli into this position. If there's Gastrofidi here, he can target the Son of Osiris from range. He can kill the town center off. He can do everything he needs to. If there's catapult here, he can take this down. Heliopoli was the wrong move. Toxotes was the wrong move here. Mobo's going to learn from this game, I'm absolutely sure, and come back with a vengeance. Squash is going to have to look out, because he's got away with it this game with a really, really nice shifting sands usage, but things are going to be very difficult here going forward. I also think Momo going with a slightly stronger, a slightly more, or how do you say this? My brain is giving me nothing but Japanese. Like, I want to say, no, I don't even know. More effort needs to be put into getting that third town center up at a faster time if you're going for fast 3 town centers. The idea with Hades in the early game should be Ajax, Chiron, 3 town centers, walls. That's the order. And then you get your buildings down. And if you do that, I reckon you're going to be in a much stronger position, probably even beating the Ra to the Mythic Age as an idea. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.